I wrote this story, I was an assistant editor at Birdie, and the headline was like, I'm a beauty editor, but I have bad skin. At that point, makeup was my skin's armor. It was like this shield of defense, and I was really good at covering up all the marks and the pigmentation.
Everyone has a skin story, the breakouts, the products, the trends we believed in. But how do you separate what actually works from what just sounds good online? Today, I'm so fortunate to have Maya Allen, beauty editor, expert, speaker, and brand consultant. She's held leadership roles at The Cut, InStyle, Marie Claire, Cosmo, and so many other top publications.
Beauty and skincare is a full expression of ourselves. So I really treat my routine like it is a non-negotiable.
I'm gonna basically say some statements and you're gonna tell me if it's myth or media. People with melanin-rich skin don't need sunscreen.
We all need sunscreen. Melanin needs protection.
You can shrink your pores.
You can't technically shrink pores. As a Black woman, I was so scared of using a laser because there's so many horror stories about going into professional dermatologist offices, but perhaps they aren't trained on working on a large spectrum of skin tones. And I reported on many horror stories. Be sure you're not just like signing up for a skin deal that looks really alluring to get some type of laser or some type of treatment that's incredibly invasive on your skin, and then you leave with third-degree burns that you can't reverse. I mean, it's a serious thing. It's nothing to play with.
I'm so happy to have you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be on.
Yeah, I know. I've seen you online and, I just love all the content you've been putting out there. So I have to dive right into it. What's your skin routine look like now, and how has it evolved since you've been starting to report on beauty?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I love this question, and I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. I think just being an editor for the past decade, I've really learned that beauty and skincare is a full expression of ourselves. So I really treat my routine like it is a non-negotiable. Like if my job were to clock in to the mirror every single morning or every single night and do my routine, I would be a beauty billionaire at this point. Like that is how I treat my routine. I really view skincare as discipline. I'm very militant, but not with like a negative connotation. I really see it as this like devotion and self-honoring practice to myself. So I'm very, very just diligent about doing my routine every single morning, every single evening, going to the dermatologist every 4 to 6 weeks to get checkups, making sure that all of my family and friends are stocked up with all the best products and know all the newest, latest and greatest ingredients, making sure readers and my followers and my audiences are well informed. I am just spreading the skincare gospel.
Honestly, you're glowing right now. So I hope the camera's picking that up. And for anyone who's just listening, you need to look. But seriously, I love that because you really have been committed to not only your own skincare, but just also helping people along their skincare journey. And I think that's what people expect from you now because you're telling it as it is. And
And I'm just of the belief that true beauty is such an inside-out approach. It's a lesson that my mother taught me from the very, very beginning. Like true beauty is how you feel on the inside, and that will reflect how you look and feel on the outside. So it's sort of this like well-being approach that I have to beauty and skincare. I truly believe the way you treat yourself with kindness, with love, with rituals, and with daily practices is how you will express to the world. And that's really how I view skincare. But it is a very clinical, like education-backed, field that I think is really important that we all kind of know so we can serve our skin and everyone else in the best way possible.
Yeah. And you had a story in 2017, your bad skincare story. Yeah. What changed your relationship with your skin after that? Tell us about that.
I came up in the magazine glory days. It was giving Devil Wears Prada. It was giving just running around to like my boss's plastic surgeon's office to make her appointments and then
Oh my
going
gosh.
to leather spa to drop off like her bags and her shoes for her, event that night. So
Yeah.
kind of coming up in the magazine industry, I had such a like head down, happy to be here approach. And this was back when gatekeeping was like alive and thriving, and working in fashion in New York City was such a competitive industry.
It was like an Olympic sport.
100%. And I think moving to New York and working so hard and being an assistant, working my way up to an editor after 10 years, that was so much stress on my skin. Also being from Portland, Oregon, and then going to Howard University in DC, and then going straight to New York City every single summer to intern at different fashion magazines and different beauty closets. Starting from my freshman year, I was just very, very focused, and I was eating ramen and sleeping on air mattresses. Not the best environment for your skin.
No, I've been there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like also doing that really sort of created a lot of acne, breakouts, pigmentation. And then when I sort of worked my way up in the industry from an assistant to an editor, I started getting mailings, and I started getting on the invite list to all of these really cool events. So I was so excited to be on the receiving end of all of these products, and I was trying everything too much without having the education of a dermatologist or knowing exactly what to put on my skin and what ingredients are compatible with my complexion. And I think that was such a learning moment for me, because I learned more is not always more or not always better. And I also learned that you really have to approach your skincare in a very personalized, customized way. And that comes with seeking out a lot of education, interviewing amazing, incredible dermatologists like yourself, and really educating readers in my community on skincare. And so when I wrote this story, I was an assistant editor at Birdie at the time. And the headline was like, I'm a beauty editor, but I have bad skin. And it went viral because I showed all of these really vulnerable, raw images of my skin without makeup. At that point, makeup was like my skin's armor. It was like this shield of defense. And I was really good at covering up all the marks and the pigmentation. But I was very honest about trying all of these really luxury, cool, trendy products, but not understanding what ingredients didn't work for my skin tone, my skin type. And that essentially is what really kind of triggered me to rewrite the story and learn my skin from the inside out.
Oh, I mean, you must have helped so many people, because to show that vulnerability and then to tell everyone, it's not just like the trends that you should follow. It's like you need to find your personalized, way, basically.
Yeah, there's so many photos of me on the internet, like trying all the different types of treatments and products and tools and showing my skin. And there was that point where, have you ever just didn't want to walk outside of your house with your skin in the state that it's in? It's a really like insecure feeling. It's really, really a raw feeling that I was wrestling with. And I was at that point where I had to do that. And now, thankfully, at 33, it's like I love a full face. I love glam, and I also love a bare face. And I love having the confidence of being able to do both.
That's amazing. I feel confident now. I love this. So you hit the nail on the head with diet and skin too, I feel like. And I think that doesn't always connect with people. Some of my patients don't even realize that. But how were you able to find what mattered to your skin? Like,
skin is a lifestyle. It really is. I definitely have this holistic approach to my routine. I am of the belief that what we put inside of our body is going to reflect outwardly. Skin is energy. Skin is how you show up as yourself. It's how you feel your best self. I know when I'm not getting my 8 hours of sleep, I'm not taking all of my vitamins every single day, when I'm having maybe a bit too much champagne or sushi and sodium and I'm very puffy, that shows up on my skin. When I'm stressed, it shows up. When I'm burnt out, it shows up. When I'm, I don't know, eating bad food or in a bad relationship, it shows up on my skin.
We could take a deep dive on all of those.
So I think that's so important. And I'd love to eat whole, non-processed foods, lots of clean, high protein foods.
Yeah.
I'm really, really big on like probiotics and just making sure that my skin feels juicy and collagen-y and supple.
You,
That's really important to me.
like, I know I always try to like tell people the high glycemic foods, the refined sugars, like over time, they're just doing a number on your skin. I mean, I know the science, like they glycosylate your skin cells, but people don't really want to hear that. They just want to hear it causes breakouts, and which it does, but it's also doing some damage on the cellular level. So it's nice to hear that, you can put it out there in like real terms,
And don't you feel like when you're like Euro tripping in the summer and
Oh,
you're
yeah.
in Paris for work and you're eating all of this non-processed delicious food, and I'm eating all the pastas and all the wines, but it just doesn't affect my skin how
Yeah.
it is when I am in America. And I find that I'm such a foodie and I love to indulge, but it's just everything is in moderation. I really, really try not to label foods as good or bad, and I try to really have a lot of confidence in my body and in my skin. But I totally am that girl who it's like it's 3 a.m. and I've had a few glasses of champagne. I'm still in front of the mirror, taking off my skincare routine and going through my steps slowly but surely because I am devoted.
I want to go on holiday with you. That's
Right.
awesome. Yeah. No, we have like spoken about diet and like the Western diet, and I mean the Mediterranean diet has been proven to just over and over time be like more beneficial for our health and our skin. So
yes. I love salmon, all the omega-3s from the fatty acids, and a lot of like steamed vegetables and quinoa, all of those good foods. I really do. And I try to cook at home, and I try to cook a lot. And I just find that I love working out too. I'm really into fitness. So it's like when I step out of the sauna and I see my skin is really flush and really plump, like I love that feeling. Or even after I've just lifted weights and I'm feeling really a bit fatigued, but then I just have this glow from like a good session. I just love how I feel and how my skin looks. So it all shows up.
So this has evolved since you started in the industry, and
100%. Because I was so head down. I'm a millennial. So like hustle culture and like grinding was like our day to day. And I'm glad it served its purpose. But man, I feel like now I'm of the thought that like you wake up in the morning and pour into you first. Like that is your first job. And I'm telling you, I clock in and out of that bathroom and I'm serious about my skincare.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely shows. And, you're friends with Michelle Henry, right?
My dermatologist who has transformed my skin. She's amazing.
She's awesome. I've known her. We were in the same residency years together. She's amazing, New York City dermatologist. And you being able to interact with dermatologists and like report to everyone, because you do have a gift about how you like tell people about skincare and the skincare science without like losing them. Because oftentimes like we'll say things to patients and like, they're not like fully resonating with it, but there's a gift to actually educating people.
There's such an art to engaging the reader and your audience to skincare. And I also have been so fortunate to be a patient of Dr. Henry. I'll never forget coming to her a few years ago before my big 30th birthday and feeling again like my skin wasn't in the best place. And she introduced me to so many incredible lasers, and she taught me about different tools and she just really made me think of skincare as medicine. And
I love when you say that.
And I think learning and interviewing dermatologists has informed so much of my skincare education. And that's why I think it's like we have to trust the experts. TikTok University is not enough.
I know.
Go to a dermatologist.
I mean, sometimes I'm scrolling on TikTok and I'm like, oh my gosh, like there's so much pseudoscience out there. And, where derms are always trying to like educate about SPF and like the importance of it. And, then there's this whole culture that doesn't believe in SPF. So I love when you talk about skincare as a medicine, because for me, I even developed my skincare line, and it's really
Yes.
targeted. There's like a peptide that targets a receptor in the skin. And I really wanted to make it as medical grade as possible.
Yes.
Yeah. And because I do think of it as a medicine.
Yes. And your line is so
Oh,
lovely. I got a chance to try it, and my mom got a chance to try it. Thank you all for
I love
sending
your
it to
mom's
her.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, she's incredible. My mom is beautiful and my first ever beauty icon, and she is our survivor, and she's
Yes.
overcome breast cancer twice, but taking all of those medications were so invasive to her skin and has created some sort of discoloration on her forehead. So she has been so keen on just using really clinical effective skincare in different forms of retinol to kind of reverse that, and it's been beautiful to see all of her progress. So thank you for sending
of course. No.
her line.
Yeah. We see so many patients now that have gone through treatments and are doing amazingly and surviving, but their skin really takes a toll, from all these, advanced treatments. And so it's really amazing to try to like bring that to the market and, bring clinical effectiveness, but really safe, gentle, and good enough for sensitive skin.
I am such a big clinical skincare user. That is my products of choice. Like, I am not of the thought of gimmicky, trendy skincare products.
Yeah.
Perhaps it's the editor in me and all of my editorial integrity that believes so deeply in clinical studies and experts, true experts who've dedicated years of education and schooling to learning about skin. I mean, it's our largest organ.
Yeah.
It's like we have to treat it as we have to have a medicinal approach. So when I went to Dr. Henry for the first time, she taught me about using retinol. She taught me about all these amazing tools and lasers and devices that I should use. And even as a Black woman, I was so scared of using a laser because there's so many horror stories about going into professional dermatologist offices, but perhaps they aren't trained on working on a large spectrum of skin tones. And I've reported on many horror stories of people who go to there's no shade on med spas, but do your research. Be sure you're not just like signing up for a skin deal that looks really alluring to get some type of laser or some type of treatment that's incredibly invasive on your skin, and then you leave with third-degree burns that you can't reverse. I mean, it's a serious thing. It's nothing to play with. So that's why I love that I understand my skin more and more, and I've really taken the time to learn from professionals like yourself and to report and to read studies and to really know how it's like that is irreversible damage that I just don't want to ever do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad you brought that up, and like especially about lasers for melanin-rich skin, because I use a whole bunch of lasers in melanin-rich skin, and you can, but you just have to be safe about it. You have to understand the mechanisms not to cause more hyperpigmentation.
Right.
You want to treat the hyperpigmentation. So.
Wouldn't you say that's like one of the more, not risky, but like one of the more like invasive treatments that you need to really make sure your dermatologist is skilled in?
Yeah, for sure. And it's okay to ask your derm, like, do you have the right wavelengths of lasers, or do you have the right chemical peels that you can use safely in melanin-rich skin? And just having that frank dialogue, when a patient tells me that they hyperpigment, I believe them, because you can have a very lighter skinned person from India, but they can hyperpigment like this, and so it's not just, where in the world they are, but it's how reactive their skin is. And I always listen to them. If they tell me that they hyperpigment, I believe it, because some people tan very easily. Some people don't, some people burn very easily. So we really have to like have that dialogue. So I always try to tell my patients, just tell me what you feel, what you know about your skin, and then we can work from there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a discerning dermatologist.
Yeah, totally.
Who listens. And I think I've sat in chairs before where being in this industry, I have access to so much. Like I have access to like Botox parties, injectable parties.
We've seen people go way too over the
And listen, there is no shame in anyone's game. I love beauty as being this expression of whatever you want to do,
Yeah.
you do you. But I also think it's really important that you sit with someone who listens to your skin.
Yeah.
And I've had conversations with dermatologists who told me, Maya, I've had other dermatologists who I know who I've trained in places, and perhaps the just like they haven't trained on that many diverse patients because of where they were training in the world.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
believe we talked about that as
Yeah.
well. And I think, there's just so many nuances we have to approach it with. And I'm so lucky to be in New York City and to be in this melting pot and to know that my skin is in the right hands.
Yeah. One of my mentors in residency was Andrew Alexis, and he's an amazing dermatologist. He helped start the Skin of Color center at St. Luke's Roosevelt, which is now Mount Sinai. Yeah.
Amazing.
And it was just amazing. He was doing Fraxel trials for acne scars, and like we were treating everyone, which was it was so cool to like be a part of that and really help shape how I look at procedures now. So shout out to Dr. Alexis.
I love it. I love all the innovation that we're seeing in the space, especially as, a woman and a woman of color. I think there's a lot more education that we're now seeing and a lot more curiosity and boldness to try new things and to try it with excitement and curiosity, but to know to do it safely. I'm someone who will try like the coolest new high-tech laser or the coolest new microcurrent device. And I've been able to travel from like Tokyo to Saudi Arabia and Oman and all these cool places and learn about skin labs and go to like the coolest like R&D offices and see how products are being made. And that has just been a breath of experience for me as an editor and really opened my eyes to that. And I'm happy there's so much more education and accessibility in the space.
Yeah. And I'm sure brands approach you all the time. How do you educate them to like show up for all skin types equally? I mean, I'm sure people approach you and say, what's your opinion? And it's, you want to say it nicely too, but
Absolutely.
It's the truth. Like if you're going to put out a makeup line nowadays, like you got to go for the whole gamut,
100%. I mean, it's definitely my profession that I take quite personally. I think it's a responsibility that I totally show up and make sure that all of the brands that I work with or I've written about over the years understand that we're not a monolith.
Yeah.
Diversity is not an exception. No. It should be the standard. Yeah. And we've come so far, but there's still so much more progress that needs to be made. And I am all about education. And so perhaps like they come out with the foundation and it's a few shades that they have are darker, but are you sure that our undertones were accounted for? Because just because the shade is dark in R&D, that doesn't mean our undertones, which are orange, red, yellow. Like there's so many different nuances within the shade spectrum that have to be accounted for, not just in marketing, but also in our R&D development. So I believe beauty should be incredibly diverse on the front and back end of the beauty industry.
That's huge. Yeah.
Completely.
I don't think people think about that whole back end, like when you're actually making the products. Cause obviously there's a lot that goes into it and you need to know from the jump, like where you're going with those products. So like it starts from all the way back in R&D. Yeah.
It starts from R&D. It starts with having diversity within the decision makers who are sitting and deciding that these are the amounts of shades we're going to have or within our clinical studies. I've actually seen progress in that. I've seen that the Fitzpatrick scale is showing more meaningful ranges of all skin tones. I've seen that products and ingredients are being vetted across a spectrum of complexions. That is great progress. But I am not one to ever drag, but I am one to educate and to call out and to be sure that we're all being held accountable. Just having been in this industry and growing up reading magazines and loving fashion, what fueled me was my frustration of not feeling seen, heard, or represented. And then now going into those fancy doors and breaking down those barriers myself. And I think being this advocate and approaching beauty from a cultural context has been my personal avenue of activism. And it's really been fulfilling to see the progress we've made over the years, because I've sat at conference tables and pitched ideas or pitched, let's interview these really incredible experts who, are of different backgrounds, and let's talk to them and see how their experience has been. And it hasn't been received as well. And I've had to fight and fight and push and push. And now it's more mainstream, which I'm so grateful to see, but it hasn't always been like that.
No. I can't wait for you to come out with a line.
I'm manifesting it.
Do it.
I'm really in this stage.
I love your passion. Yeah.
Dr. Rossi, where I am just betting on beauty and betting on myself in bigger, bolder ways. I think now I've evolved so much as an editor. In addition to just reporting and editing, it's sort of this era of Maya, the magazine. And I've really been leaning into it and being able to consult with new brands and founders, from first-time founders to the most famous founders in the world who are celebrities and start skincare lines. And I've interviewed and interrogated them all. And I've wrote cover stories and done different amazing opportunities with them along the way. And I think all of that breadth of experience has led up to where I am today. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of, what's one beauty trend that you wish would go away? I know, not to put you on the spot.
There are so many. I am just not a skincare trend girly.
Yeah.
I don't believe we should be treating skincare as a trend.
Yeah, for sure.
On the other train of thought, I'm really experimental. I'm an editor. I love trying new things. I love innovation. I love tools. I love science. But when it comes to trends, I'm not really into like all the slugging with all of these different products. What do you think about that?
Oh my God, I've seen so much acne with people slugging. It's the concept of like hyper moisturizing is great, like especially in these cold like winter months, but the slugging trend, I mean, I've seen people break out in like comedonal acne and, just then we have to like go in and extract and, do more of this exfoliation. But so, I mean, I'm with you, like less is more, but also like, you need to know your skin. Not everyone can handle slugging.
Yeah. And on the same thought of needing to know your skin, it's like, you can't just buy a product because you saw it trending on TikTok.
For sure, yeah, I know. I know.
Well, how do you know if that product is going to be compatible for your specific complexion?
Yeah.
I love being influenced. I love the algorithm. I'm on it.
Yeah.
I scroll, but I'm also incredibly discerning. That's why we have to really listen to our skin. It's an energy exchange. What does it need? What is it telling you? Talk to your skin.
Yeah.
It's important.
Sometimes I'm scrolling on TikTok and I'm like, am I unhinged? Because my algorithm is like all over the place. But maybe I am. Maybe it knows me better than I know me. But
yeah. It is same.
Yeah, I was like, I'm here for it. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you've seen some wild ones.
Yes.
And you've written a lot. And like everyone should read her stories because they're great. One that I thought was something crazy was the vagina facial, the vaginal facial. I don't even know what that is, but just now I need to know. Yeah.
Well, I'll paint the picture for you as PG as possible.
Yeah.
Don't worry. But for a Galentine's Day a few years back, a few editor friends and I went and got vagina facials.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It's an incredibly detoxifying process. Wow. It's really soothing. It's really relaxing. The headline, this was when I was at Marie Claire, and I was the beauty editor, and it was like, I got a vagina facial for the first time, and here's what happened. It was, of course, trending on the site for a few days. It was really topping the charts, but I just remember feeling really detoxified and really relaxed, but it wasn't very invasive.
Okay.
It was a lot of like steam and a lot of detoxifying moments.
I mean, beauty editors are just up for anything. I love it.
We do. We try everything. Yeah. I love it. There's so many fun things I've done over the years. So many cool facials. It's been fun.
what's your go-to, like if you had a procedure to pick out of, so many of them ones that you've tried? Not to put you on the spot,
No,
but
I love this question. When it comes to facials, I have two-part
yeah.
answer. When it comes to facials, I love anything microcurrent.
Ooh,
I
nice.
know
Yeah.
this podcast is all about giving good face.
Yeah,
Like to
yeah.
me, a sculpted, snatched
Yeah.
jawline is my ideal skincare aesthetic. Like cheekbones
Yeah.
high to the sky,
Yeah.
a really, really like carved jawline. And I
Oh,
find that going in office to these really cool facialists that have all different types of modalities with
yeah.
microcurrent has been so incredible. There's so many amazing facialists who have done those microcurrent devices on my skin. And then I notice weeks later that like my skin and my cheekbones are still lifted.
Yeah.
So the power of microcurrent is real. And then at home, I'm obsessed with the new face and
Oh,
the
nice.
zip.
Yeah.
And I'll do that a few times a week on top of gua shaing or using like cryotherapy tools and really sculpting
Oh,
my
nice.
skin.
You have a
I
whole
like
lab
to
at home.
play. Yeah, I'm in the lab at
Yeah, you're
home,
cooking at home.
cooking
Yeah.
up with my potions
Yeah.
and my devices.
I did try one of those microcurrent facials. I went to Face Gym.
I
you
love
know,
face
yeah.
gym.
It was cool. Like I actually did it in London because I think it originated in
It
London.
did.
Yeah.
It did.
And like I came out and you can actually like, the result may not be like long lasting, but you felt like lifted.
It's a
'Cause-
workout. for
Yeah,
your
it's a
face.
workout. Your muscles are stimulated, and I was like, wow, right before an event, I think it's a great,
100%.
yeah, great tool.
I've interviewed so many different celebrities and celebrity dermatologists and facialists who they recommend microcurrent
Yeah.
as your pre-wedding prep, pre-event prep. That's if your aesthetic is looking snatched.
Yeah.
Which for me, as a
I love it.
in my mid-30s, that's my vibe.
Yeah.
Anything to boost my collagen and to really like pour into my skin from the inside out. So for me, that would be laser as my like go-to treatment that I love seeing Dr. Michelle Henry with. I mean,
Yeah.
we've done AeroLase,
Nice.
we've done the Pico laser, we've done.
And what's
We
brilliant,
might have to cut this part, but what's
Oh.
that other laser where it's like, I think we talked about it, where it was supposed to be this healthy, it's like this healthy alternative to Accutane. AviClear.
Aviclear, yeah.
Yes, we also did AviClear. Like I've done so many different lasers.
I love that you're bringing up these lasers because these are newer lasers, which are amazing. And we can use them in a different range of skin tones and melanin-rich skin because the fluence or the energy is lower and the wavelength is really good for the different skin types. So it's amazing that you try those because, we still get the question like, is this safe for my skin? And
100%.
Yeah.
The pigmentation in my skin, which hyperpigmentation was my number one skincare concern. I had so many different dark spots from post-acne scarring over the years
Mhm.
and from trying to play dermatologist at home. Do not.
yeah, yeah.
And doing the laser has completely reversed all of my dark
Nice.
spots. It's an investment, right? I truly believe in
Totally.
skincare as an investment. And if you have the means and you have the resources, just like we save for designer bags
I
or we
know.
save for home, save for your skin.
Yeah, for sure.
Your skin is worth it.
Get
I
that
want my
HSA.
skin-
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
I want my skin to feel expensive,
Yeah.
to look expensive. I am that girl. And I do believe it's a skin investment.
Yeah,
so
totally.
with that, I'm all for innovation and tools. I love how innovation is changing the game in beauty right now.
Yeah.
We're doing so much more than just bottling ingredients. We're like bottling ingredients into a package or into a product. It's like we have innovation when it comes to in-office treatments. We have innovation when it comes to devices and
Yeah.
tools. We see how AI is changing the game. Like I nerd out on all of that when
I
it
love
comes
it.
to beauty. Yeah.
I know it is a pretty big flex now to have like this dewy, glowing skin, looks super natural, but like obviously, you've put some thought into it.
100%.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
hard work.
It
and
is,
It's
yeah.
worth it.
Yeah.
It's like I want that dewy dolphin glow,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm gonna work for it.
Same. All right. We're going to play a little quick fire game. Are you into it?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So I'm going to basically say some statements and you're going to tell me if it's myth or media. All
Okay.
right? So like, is it hype or it's a myth or if you like truly believe in it?
Perfect.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's go. First one. People with melanin-rich skin don't need sunscreen. Yeah.
Hard myth.
I know. Hard myth.
We all need sunscreen.
Yeah.
Sunscreen. Melanin needs protection. Protect it like precious cargo.
Yes.
Indoors, outdoors, all day.
Beautiful. I couldn't say it better myself. You can shrink your pores. Everyone always asks me that. Yeah.
Myth.
Yes.
I believe that you can alter the appearance
Totally.
of pores,
Yeah.
but I've learned through dermatologists you can't technically shrink pores.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
You're totally right.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Pores don't really grow or expand or open and close, but we can like alter the appearance of them. If we exfoliate, if we unclog them, they minimize, so it's really about that pore blurring effect. Yeah.
I want it. I want invisible, baby, soft looking skin.
Yeah. Another, myth or media, you tell me, people with oily skin don't need to moisturize.
Myth.
I know. Yeah.
We all need to stay moisturized and mind our business. Just kidding. But moisturize your skin. For me, I have an oily T-zone. So I love to moisturize. Sometimes I'll even double up on the moisture, but perhaps you can use the gel-based texture. You can use a more lightweight layer of moisture if you don't want to, quote unquote, clog your pores.
Yeah.
But I feel like your skin works overtime when it's dry and it then produces more oils.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the adverse effect. You want to still moisturize. No dry skin. Not cute.
No, not cute. And, we say like if you have barrier dysfunction, it's just like a never ending cycle. That leads to inflammation. Inflammation leads to breakouts. So you really want to just help support that barrier.
Completely.
Yeah. And if you, like you said, if you do have like a super oily T-zone, just moisturize everywhere else, I even tell guys like for their beards, like some of them are just like flaking in the beards. I was like, that's not cute. Like you need to moisturize that beard.
Every single man in my life I've converted them into full-on skincare obsessed
Amazing.
men, and I
Disciples.
love that for me.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like skincare
They're
should not
secretly
be
stealing your products. Yeah.
Yes, and skincare should not be gendered. It's universal. That's what I love about beauty. It has this like universal appeal. No matter if you call it a beauty routine or not, you have a routine. Whether that's using soap on your face or not, which a lot of men do. Stop doing that. Please use a cleanser.
Yeah.
You have a routine.
For sure. And, it's self-care, it's self-love, it's self-appreciation. I love it.
100%.
I think you've written about a lot, but a topic of retinol thinning your skin. I know that's like a
myth.
Yeah.
Retinol gives you the strongest barrier ever. You do go through this sort of initial stage or cycle where your skin might feel dry or it might flake. My skin went through the same thing. It was just adjusting to retinol. I use a really low dose of retinol. I use 2%. So that's my perfect amount. And I use it, every other night. And I love it. I found that it gives my skin this amazing, supple, smooth, collagen-y glow. And even if I feel like a breakout is coming on, retinol has been my saving grace. So I cannot preach the power of retinol enough. I was really, really hesitant to use retinol at first because I was like, oh, what about my AHAs and my BHAs and all my acids? And what are the other ingredients that won't be compatible with retinol? But once I sort of educated myself on not using those on the same days, I was able to fit it into my routine in a way that made sense.
I need to see your skincare medicine cabinet. It sounds extensive.
It is quite the vision.
Yeah. I love it. What about fillers? They'll make you look unnatural, or I know we went through a whole filler hate,
I don't
story for a while.
Why do we hate on aesthetic treatments? We should pull the shame curtain back on beauty fully and allow people to educate themselves and to do tweakments and to do
I love
anything
that
they want to do.
Yeah.
I think good filler definitely looks beautiful. I personally still don't have any filler or injectables.
Wow, all natural.
Yeah,
amazing.
That's just a personal choice. And once I decide to do it, I'll do it with no shame and I'll talk about it. But, I also believe that let's make sure the foundation of our skin is set first. And
Yeah.
once you decide to do that, just make sure you have a trained, skilled expert who knows the symmetry of your face. Because I think that's the main point, right? Because if you're going to all these different
Yeah.
people, it's like they have different approaches. They might not have a light touch and they might have a different approach and philosophy. And that's kind of what creates the
Yeah.
messy middle.
Totally. If you're shopping around each time for like different injectors, I mean, that's a slippery slope because like you're going to someone new each time. They don't know what's been done before. It can really lead to like unnatural results. And
Completely.
Yeah.
I mean, my friends who have it have the glowiest, plumpest,
Yeah.
beautiful skin. And it's some of them like it subtle, some of it like a little bit more volume. I think to each its own, whatever architecture of your face makes you feel the best, you should do that. But also understand that it's maintenance.
Yeah.
So once you do commit to something, be sure that you're available to commit to staying consistent with the same trained
totally.
expert
Yeah.
and staying really educated on it.
And always having a friend that'll pull you back if you've gone too much. No,
No,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
true.
it's true. Yeah.
I heard it can kind of create like not like facial dysmorphia, if you will, but it
Yeah.
can sort of like mess with how you see yourself if you go overboard.
Oh, for sure. Like people do lose the horizon, we say sometimes, and there's like this perception drift of where you started from and now where you are. And especially with facial, any sort of cosmetic surgery, any facial injectables, we really, I always try to tell people, this is where we started. This is where you are now. You look amazing. More is not always more. So, we want to keep a refined eye.
We love it.
Yeah.
There's sexiness and subtlety.
Yes. I love you're a master of words.
I have my little headlines.
Yeah. Maya, I know, you're an editor and you've had such an amazing career, but you're doing more now. What's been going on? Tell me, catch me up.
I love it. I'm always an editor through and through in my heart, but I've really just been in this era of expansion and betting on beauty and betting on myself in bigger and bolder ways. So I've actually have a beauty venture firm where I work with amazing emerging founders, and I help to advise, consult, and invest in brands that I believe in.
Wow.
And it's really just been amazing to take all of my experiences from interviewing incredible experts like yourself and big time, like famous brand founders, and writing about stories and seeing this cultural renaissance within beauty and kind of having
This is amazing. Yeah.
editorial expertise.
We need this in, skincare and beauty. Even when I started Dr. Rossi Skincare, we need that. We need to be able to consult and, riff with others, especially
and making sure
editors.
the storytelling is really authentic and it's
Yeah.
going to reach new consumers and audiences in a really engaging way, which is like my forte. So it's been great to expand in that way into Beauty Venture.
What's it called?
Yay, it's called Silk Ventures.
Silk Venture.
Silk Ventures.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of people say my skin feels like silk. So
Yeah, it looks
that's
like
it.
silk.
Thank you. We're working on it.
All right. So, Maya, you're amazing on so many levels, but this show is called Give Good Face. So, what does it mean for you to give good face?
That's such a good question. For me, giving good face is showing up as my full, authentic, self-assured self and having just this inner confidence and this really pure energy. And to me, that reflects in my face, in my beauty, in my approach to life. So to me, giving good face is just showing up as your full self and knowing that you deserve to take up space.
And if our audience wants to get in touch, what are your handles? What are your socials?
I'd love for them to email me or DM me on Instagram. I'm at Maya Alina.
I'm sure they follow you already.
Find me there. And my email and everything is in my bio.
That's awesome. You're so accessible. I love it.
I'm here.
You're that girl. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. I hope to keep the conversation going. Yeah.
Let's do it again.
All right. Thank you. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and join us as we explore beauty, confidence, and the art of showing up like only Give Good Face can.